Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, whatever time it is in your world. My name is Professor Jack O'Connor, and I will be your professor for Intro to Philosophy online. If you check the syllabus, you'll see that there is a required textbook, and it is not this one. This is the 7th edition, but I don't happen to have the 8th edition here. I'm at my house. The text is in my office, but nevertheless, the one that you're going to get is still Classics of Western Philosophy. Stephen Kahn is the editor. Like I said, this is the 7th edition. You're going to get the 8th, which is the same. The only difference is the page numbers are a little different, and the cover is like blue instead of brown. You do need to get this as quick as you can. As you look through the text, you'll notice that it's a whopper. You know, it's like the Yellow Pages. If some of you are around long enough, have been around long enough to remember the Yellow Pages, and that just gives you sort of a bit of insight into what the course is going to be like. This course is going to be a lot of reading of relatively difficult things, analyzing and breaking those down to understand them, and applying it to other things. That's sort of the crux of the class. I'm going to walk you through a bunch of videos which sort of guide you in breaking these things down. That'll be sort of like workshops. So the way the course goes is this. I'm going to assign a reading, and you'll have a reading quiz based on the reading, and that reading quiz will be open text. They're timed at 15 minutes. It's all the multiple choice things on Canvas. And the intent is not to see if you understood everything, but rather to see if you at least went through it and got a literal understanding. Then you'll watch the videos, and the videos are me. I made them, so I mean they're kind of, you know, a little cheesy at times, not the most professional things, but my intent there is to kind of walk you through to get a deeper understanding of what's going on. Then at the end of that, you'll have what it's called a summary paper, in which I'm going to ask you basically to summarize the reading. Then after we finish a unit, then I'm going to ask you to do what I'm calling a concluding essay, where essentially I'm going to ask you to choose between several of the perspectives that you've been exposed to and argue which one you prefer. So the point of this course really is understanding the readings. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. You know, there's not a lot of frivolity. It's just basically reading and coming to understand the text. And really, right now, what else? Discussion boards are going to be a big part of this course, but they're not graded. And I know probably a lot of other online classes that you take, the discussion boards are graded. These ones are optional, but those who go on the discussion boards to ask questions, to dialogue, to check their understandings tend to do very well. Those who don't. And the reason I don't grade them is because in the past the graded discussion boards are more or less pulling teeth. You know, you have to go on and see, okay, did someone, you know, put 3 lines, okay, you get a point. You know, I don't want to do that. Obviously, this course is going to take a lot of motivation and self-organization, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of reading here, and you have a lot of dates. There are 10 reading quizzes, 8 or 10 summary papers, and 4 concluding essays. So there's a lot of things to do, and it's going to be up to you to organize your time and make sure you hit those deadlines. You can read all this in the syllabus, but let me just reiterate, I don't do extra credit and I don't do makeups. The reason I don't do extra credit is because it's really not fair to those who have, you know, had their head in the game from the get-go. The reason I don't do makeups is because this is an online course, and already there's a lot of flexibility built in. And for that reason, the other side of that same reason of why I don't do makeups is I would do nothing but makeups constantly, because everybody always wants to do a makeup. So for those 2 reasons, I don't. So make sure that you are squared away. Make sure that you, what I would do is I would print out the reading schedule, which you'll see in the first module here, and have that available, posted up, you know, beside your desk where you do your work, whatever, and just be aware of that. I will be available all the time. Well, you know, not during the night, obviously, but I go on the discussion boards and check them daily. My emails I check several times a day. So, you know, whatever, I would advise you, if you have a question about content, to go on the discussion board, because if I answer there, it'll be beneficial to like everybody. But if you have something of a personal nature, or, you know, you just don't feel like going on a discussion board, you can always email it directly to me as well. So I think that covers most of the bases. This will be a great course. You know, it is a lot of work, but students say that it is also a good rewarding course. So just make sure that you prepare accordingly. If you do not have access to the text right away, we will need it, like, I think week 2. The first week I don't think you need it, but if you live anywhere near Corinth, you can always go to the library. There are 2 copies of the text on reserve in the library, so if you need a copy the first couple weeks of reading or something, you can do that. The text is also really cheap. If you go to like Amazon.com, you can probably get it for under $10. Anyways, so Dr. Jack O'Connor, that's me. Feel free to email me or discussion board anytime you have questions. And just remember to stay on top of things. And good luck.